Hello,
Hello. Good
can you hear
morning.
me? Good
Yeah, good
morning.
morning.
How are you?
Yeah,
How are
I'm
you?
fine, thank you. And you? I'm fine.
Okay, so am I audible to you?
Yes, very, very audible.
Okay, and can you see me properly?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let
I
me
can see
check
you
regarding
now.
the screen. Okay, so it is completely fine. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay, I can see you now.
just hold on for a second.
Okay.
So
Okay. I can see you now.
just hold on for a second.
Okay.
Okay, so it is 9 a.m. in the morning at your place, isn't it? Okay. So
Yes, it
it is
is.
9 a.m. in the morning at your place. Let me check why I cannot see myself.
Yes, it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see you too. Yeah, I can see you too.
Just wait for a while. Okay, so let's start with your name. Uh, you mentioned that your name is Islamiyat Abdul Hakim. That I can pronounce because
Yeah,
Islamiyat
you
is
can
very
pronounce it.
common. Islamiyat is
Okay.
very common word. Islamiyat is very common word in our country. Like the subject that is related to Islam, we call it as Islamiyat. The subject name is Islamiyat, where we teach Islam.
Now,
And Abdul
yes,
Hakim is also very common name in our country, but
yes.
I cannot pronounce the letter that is at the end of your name. Would you please
Okay,
pronounce it? And
Abolade. Abolade.
Abolade, Abolade.
Islamiyat Abolade. Yes. Abolade. Yes, yes. That's my
And
name.
what does it mean by your name?
Okay, Islamiyat means peace, right?
Yes, that I
Islamiyat,
know.
somebody that loves because it is actually derived from the word Islam, right? So
Yes, it is.
it means simply means peace. Yes, that's the meaning of my name.
Okay. And like about my name, Omair. Omair is basically, if you know that, it is one of the companion of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, Musa bin Umair,
Perfect.
if you know the name.
Yes, a lot.
So that is basically
Of course,
derived
I know
from
Humar.
from that. Okay, so let's
Okay.
start with the brief introduction about yourself. First, you tell me, you categorize your introduction into two components. First, your academic experience, like your qualification, and then we move on to the professional experience.
Okay. Should I start now?
Yes, yes, sure, for sure. The stage is all yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Umair. As I've once said, my name is Islamiyat Abdulhakeem Abolade, and I am just 30 years old of age. My academic experience, I have BSc in physics. I studied physics, BSc in the university at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, here in Nigeria. So I've been able to get to know what physics entails, and then the calculation aspect of it, the engineering aspect of it. So there was a time that I
Okay,
went for my internship, right? So that is where I actually
okay,
learned the application of physics so well. Yes.
that's
So
really
that is it
great.
about my educational background. And yeah, thank you very much. And as for my career and what I'm doing, my professional background, I am a tutor.
Okay,
and I've been able
Okay.
to tutor from, because in Nigeria here we usually go for NYSC. So I served as a tutor. I taught in school. I taught physics in school. Then when I
Okay.
got out of the university, I mean the service, I was able to go into teaching line as well, where I taught physics and mathematics for some months. Then I left the place around, I think, 2022. Or yeah. Then I had the privilege of working in an organization that actually prepares students for Cambridge examination. So I was
That's
able
really
to take them through
great.
A-level physics. I taught
Okay.
them paper one, paper two, paper four, and paper five,
Okay.
right? So we
That's
were
really
two that actually taught that. Then as time goes on, due to the economy and then the money aspect of it, I had to change that place. I think I worked there for like 1.5 years before I changed my my organization where I work presently. So presently I'm working
okay.
as a class tutor, a class teacher, where I take
Okay.
KS1, I mean, sorry, KS2, that's year 5. I take year 5 and year
Okay.
6, right? And as
Okay.
well, I am also an online tutor. That's where I actually base mostly, where I take my mathematics, IGCSE mathematics, O level
Okay.
mathematics, IGCSE physics, O level physics. So that is what I do practically at the moment.
Okay. The second thing I would like to I would like you to answer in detail, like what motivated you to come into the STEAM education? Like you graduated in physics, so you had a chance to teach physics, even mathematics. So why did you choose robotics especially?
All
I
right.
would like
Thank
you
you
to
so
answer in
much.
detail.
Okay, thank you so much for that very question. Like, I have the opportunity, like I said earlier, I said I had at a point in my life when I was studying physics, I have the opportunity of, going for my internship when I was in 300 level. So I did my
Okay.
internship at in an organization that is mostly based on mechatronics. Now, you see, mechatronics is
Okay.
the combination of electronics and mechanical engineering. So that's where I did
It
my
is. It is.
internship. And that was
It is.
where I learned my AI, robotics, Arduino, anything, research work, because in that organization, we usually work on research work, and we usually prepare, maybe like help some students who don't know how to work on Arduino on their project. So that's what we do practically. So that is where I learned it. And in fact, that was where my interest of, robotics came about. My boss, engineer Ahmadu Bello, is a mechanical engineer that came out with a first class in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria as well. So this man made it
Okay.
so easy and made it so interesting for me, to actually think there is an application of physics in mechatronics, which I actually appreciate a lot. When I was in, let's say, 100 level, 200 level, I don't really understand the
Okay.
concept of physics. You see, as I
Okay.
am, I have learned throughout my life. When I was in secondary school, I have problem in physics a lot. And when I
Okay.
got my admission into university, the same physics was given to me. So I had no choice but to sit down and learn it, with the whole of my heart. So I actually
Okay.
got the physics principles so well during my internship. And I understand it because I was able to see some components real life, and I
Okay.
was able to handle them real life. So it really made me appreciate what I have studied in school. So, and then when I finished my internship, when I went to go and present my project, I mean my
Okay.
CWES, we call it CWES or internship,
Okay.
to our lecturers, the confidence in me grew. They feel like this is a whole lot of things. This person really understands what she's doing. And in my final year
Okay.
project, I was able to handle it, and all of my lecturers were able to appreciate me, and they know that, okay, yes, you know what you are doing. So that was what prompted my robotics and Arduino experience.
Okay, that's really nice. And the second
Thank
question is basically leads to the first questions, is the second part of this first question. That why do you
you.
think that
Okay.
robotics becoming so important in school curriculum? In case, consider yourself that you have the authority, you have the power in Nigerian government, like as education minister, or you have the authority to create any law to change the education system. So why would you implement robotics in school education? Why it is so important? If it is,
Yes, thank you. I will actually, if I am a minister of education, yes, let's say, for example, I will actually advocate for that. Implementing robotics into Nigerian curriculum and the rest of that is very, very important because most
it
school
is,
at the moment thinks it's something very, very unique. When you are doing it, if they see you doing it, somebody that is not really, they will see you as somebody that is so unique, and then they will see you as something very, very uncommon. And normally,
it
this is
is,
the generation of AI. We should actually allow most of our students, to get exposed to robotics. Not
it
only
is,
sitting down in class and then writing on the board, writing from the board, writing from the from the textbook, writing, cramming things. That's not right. Now, let's take physics for example. Physics is something that is so very broad. And most students
it
in
is.
secondary school,
I
they
agree.
don't really like physics. They felt it's
It
so
is,
hard. Now look at how I break free of my fear when it comes to physics when I was in 300 level because of my internship, because I was exposed to robotics. I feel I can do more
it
with my
is.
knowledge,
Agree.
right? I feel secondary schools, they needed this. They should not even see it as something they need to do once in a week. Probably twice in a week or four times in a week. Let it be part of their timetable. Let them rule it right. Let them rule it together. Let them be doing robotics. Robotics is very, very important. It will allow students also to make a clear decision of what they want to become in the future. Most students of nowadays, this generation, they don't really know what they want to become. As at this moment, when you ask most of those students what they want to become in future, they will tell you they don't know because they are not inspired. So I felt
It is.
robotics should be included so that more students can be inspired, so they can know that there is something they can do. They have a purpose in this life, not just sitting down and reading. Most students don't like reading. Some people like hands-on. If you notice
It
those
is.
students that love hands-on, put them into the line of robotics, and they are going to do just fine. So that is what I
It
feel
is.
about implementing robotics in most schools. In fact, they should start from primary schools. I started my own robotics wherever in primary school. I started it and they are doing fine. They were so inspired. They want to do more. They want to do a lot, you know. But the school system is not really appreciating it. Why? Because they don't know about it, right? So that is
Exactly.
what I felt
Exactly.
about implementing robotics in secondary school, sir.
Exactly. I would like to add on like my experience as well. Like if you see that almost 5 years back, when someone say that artificial intelligence is a thing that is about to come, so people don't agree. People basically disagree by the time. And later on, after 2 years, they come to know about the importance of the artificial
Hmm.
intelligence. Similarly, right now, people are saying that
Exactly.
there is one more thing that is about to come, and that is the robotics, because artificial intelligence is inside the computer right now. And now artificial intelligence has been converted into general artificial
Yes.
intelligence. Now it is the time for the artificial intelligence to come out the
Yes.
computer. And coming out the computer, they require a body. And that
Yes.
body we call it as a robotics. Robots. So
Exactly. Exactly.
that
Robot.
is
Yes.
why exactly. That is why report is basically is going to be very important in later on and after 2 years, not very far from the present. It is just a matter of 2 years. Everybody will come to know about the robots. As people came to know
Of course.
about the artificial intelligence back in 3 years, after 2 years they will come to know about the robots, the importance of robots, because robots will be
Ex-
present everywhere like a normal. This would become
hmm.
a normal thing.
You're right. Exactly.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay,
Exactly.
now it's going to be like a question that which I have seen your profile that you have made so many projects. So if I ask you that which robotics project while making it you enjoyed the most?
Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I think I will still go back to what inspired me, right? And this is an RFID tag, right?
That is
There was
that
this
is mine as well. That is
RFID
mine as well.
radio frequency. Yeah, you know RFID?
Yes, yes. I even enjoyed. I created two projects of RFID, and that is even one of my
Oh, I
best project.
wow. Yeah, that's my best project as well. I saw it. I saw it on your timeline. What there was a day I was scrolling past your profile, and I saw it on your timeline, and I remember the day I was inspired by that RFID. Do you know what happened with that RFID? That period I was learning. My boss gave
Yeah.
me a task. I was
Okay.
not taught. He has
Okay.
taught me the basics. And then he gave
Okay.
somebody brought the RFID tag, like the project, to our office, right? So it is a final year
Okay.
project. That is what I'm saying. This
Okay.
final year project should be actually done like by the students, the owner of the project. But because the person did not know what robotics is or Arduino is, the person needs to go and pay an organization to work on that. And we were part of
Okay.
the team that worked on that. So that day, my
Okay.
boss gave me this project and he said, Islamiyat, go ahead and find you are a researcher, you've learned the basics. Go ahead and find solution to this RFID tag. I'm not going to teach you the coding, I'm not going to teach you the connection. You will provide it and I give you 2 weeks. I felt so
Okay.
emotional. I was like, I can't do this. How do you want me to do this? I felt he was even doing something bad to me. Then
Okay.
there was a day I just stood up. I said, okay, this is a challenge and I have to do this, right? So my boss actually gave me and he didn't ask me. Then after a week, he
Okay.
asked me, what is my progress? I said, I'm working on it. So before 2 weeks, I was able to search online, do my research, do the connect. The connections was not easy for me as at then because it is something I'm just learning. So I was able to
Okay.
to connect it. I was able to use the tag, and the tag was opening a sliding door, right? So that really inspired
Okay.
me a lot, and I enjoyed every fiber of it. I enjoyed it so much. So that's one of my best projects. Another one is this LEDs. The one I love the most, one of my best electronic components is the RGB. You know, the RGB
Okay.
LED, right? You know the RGB,
Okay.
the
It is.
one
Yeah, I know.
single,
It's the
yes.
combination.
So, yes, exactly. So the transition of it transforming from blue to red to green, it's something that
Okay.
I've learned as a theory in physics. There was a day I was actually teaching one of my students loudness, amplitude, I think sound waves, right? So
Okay.
there is this project that deals with sound sensor and the RGB,
Okay.
whereby the
Okay.
RGB will sense the sound sensor will sense the noise and then the lightning will be working with the loudness and the pitch of sound, and that is what they use
Okay.
in clubhouse. The DJ, the wherever you will see light bubbling, different lightning is
Okay.
because of the amplitude and the pitch of sound. So that is one of my best
According to the
projects as
you
well.
actually you actually what I come to know that uh, you actually make the lights according to the sound intensity. If the sound
Ye-
intensity is lower, so different light will on. As per the sound
of course.
intensity, different lights will open, isn't it?
Yes, the frequency. Yes, of course, you're right. And on the serial monitor, you will be checking the sound because you would have programmed it. You want this red LED to come up when it is at the specific intensity, and you'll be monitoring it from the serial monitor. So it is a very very interesting project as well.
It is. It is. And this one more question that
Okay.
like there is a problem. Like what I experience in Pakistan, particularly I live in Karachi. So whenever I go to any school and say that you have to introduce robotics, so the first question they would ask me, and I believe that the same questions you would be asked by schools, that it is very expensive. So what is the
Yes,
budget? How much we have to pay, and how the students can
yes.
pay? So what do you think that what is the minimum budget that school can start? Just in case, consider that you have to create a curriculum of a school that is very average school, not very like high profile school, and you are given a task to create a curriculum, and their budget is not very good. So how, like, what are the things you would suggest initially they can implement so that their budget become cost effective?
Okay, well, what I would suggest, as for me, number one thing is that the management must really know what robotics and Arduino really means. So it
It is the
means that,
problem. Yes,
yes, so it means that we need to empower those teachers, not just only the students, so that they can know the importance of what we are
it
doing.
is. Same,
They don't really know
same
the
problem with
importance.
me.
They don't know how important it is. When you're doing it, they will feel as if you are just performing miracle, or they will see it as you are
It
just
is.
playing with some toys. They need
It
to tell
is.
them what it entails so that they can be inspired. So when they want to
It
call, maybe
is.
like they want to talk about the cost to the students can easily, they will be able to communicate well, so that when they communicate to their parents, they also will take it very, very important. So the first thing they need to do is to empower, educate the teachers who are in charge of these students in schools. Because without this knowledge, they cannot know what they are doing. Okay, for example, I
Exactly.
had an opportunity of teaching my year five when they want to do graduation. They do graduations in schools, right? So
Okay.
I gave the platform, you understand, to teach my students so that they can present traffic lights. They presented,
Okay.
we simulated a traffic light, right? Traffic light model,
Okay.
Arduino based traffic light model, you
It
know.
is. It is. I
So
know. I know.
me
I know.
doing it, it amazed my students, and not too much because they were able to know some. The first day I introduced it, they were so surprised. But as time goes on, they already got used to it. Now, going back to the day we wanted to present it, they don't really know what it entails. They don't really know how to give it a name. They don't really know how to package it so that people will give emphasis on it. But at the same
It
time,
is. It
most
is.
students that are even higher, secondary school, they were looking at it as something very, very unique. Something that is just like a play for a primary school student. Now imagine secondary school doing all of that with their knowledge, with their level of knowledge in science, right? So they were seeing it as something like something very, they were not looking at it, they were coming back, they were looking at it. So they are not educated in that aspect. So some people might
It
not
is.
appreciate it, because if they appreciate it, they will pay for it. They will pay for value they
Exactly.
understand. So if
Exactly.
they really understand, if they really know exactly, yeah.
What I come to the conclusion, same problem. It is not about the budget. It is about they don't
Yeah.
know the importance of it.
Of course, it's not as if they can't afford it. In Nigeria
See,
here, we have
if you
some people
can,
paying a lot more for their education.
it is.
Yes.
See,
But
if you schools have the budget to spend on the infrastructure because they know the importance of the infrastructure because this would grab the attention of the parents. Similarly,
of course,
if they come to know about the importance of the robotics, so they would definitely spend a hefty amount
yes,
on robotics. The problem
exactly,
is that they don't know the
exactly.
importance of it. They
They
don't know
don't
the
know,
importance
and they
of
need
it.
to be educated. They need to know
Exactly.
that even AI is going to take over in the next, let's say maybe like in the next 5 years. It's going to take over, and if
Exactly.
you're not in the system, you don't know how to walk about. I mean, to go about it. That's it.
Exactly. And unfortunately, a countries like your country and my country, there's a problem with this that we don't like to accept a change. We want easy
Yes,
money. We want easy money.
yes,
So we don't want to change.
yes,
So the first
yes.
world countries are first world countries just because they like to change. They work
Hmm.
on the research and development department in every school in the first world countries like America, UK. Canada.
Yes,
So they basically they have their research and development department in every school. And
exactly. That was
unfortunately,
why it's not a problem for their own country.
exactly. So they like to change. They accept the change.
Hmm.
And in our countries, they resist the change because they want the easy money.
Yes, easy money. Yes, yes. They don't want to work for the money. They don't want to stress themselves. They just feel like money should come at any time they need it. And that's not like that. We need change to develop our country. And there are people in this country that are moving away from our normal country, our own country, to another country where they will appreciate it more. That is why people are traveling out of the country.
Exactly. It is okay. The second question, first I tell you my experience, then I would ask you the question of this. That I went to
Okay.
I went some school, and they asked me that okay, we introduce robotics, but how would you create a report card? How would you give the marks in the report card of robotics subject? So I told him that, what do you mean by I have to give the marks? Robotics is all about practical. I would perform it. The
Yes,
80% marks should be on the practical basis, and the rest 20% marks should
yes,
be on the troubleshooting basis. Troubleshooting is by far the most important thing in robotics. You can create
yes,
a circuit, but if you don't know how to cope up the problems and how
yes,
to do the troubleshooting, if you find a problem, so this is most important. So they don't understand
yes,
because they say that okay, we would perform the practical, but how we satisfy the parents? This is basically the main problem. So similarly, I would ask you a question that
okay.
can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Yes, go ahead with your question.
Okay, so you tell me that what is the importance of robotics in terms of practical aspects rather than theoretical aspect?
Okay. Like I said earlier, not all students appreciate sitting
Okay,
in class writing from the board. Not all
exactly.
students really appreciate writing from the textbook, giving them assignments to read, read, read. Some students don't like reading. We have
It is.
level of assimilation when it comes to students. This generation are restless. This generation are curious. They want to know. They want to
Okay,
know how something is built. They don't want to sit down to read. They are not interested. That is
okay,
why you see they will say Gen Zs, they are not reading. It's not their fault. They are
exactly.
more educated than we that will come in. So they want to
It
know what is
is.
actually happening. They want to be inspired before they can sit to read on their own. If you are in a class, I'm a teacher. When you teach, if they are not inspired, you will actually move out of the class without them learning anything. They need hands-on. Hands-on is practical. So when we introduce this, okay, for schools that have not implemented, in Nigeria, they've implemented, but they are not widely implemented. That's the problem. We have some schools that go for competition, robotic competition in Nigeria, but they are not much, right? So
Okay,
most students need to know the importance of this so that they can include it, they can inculcate it in their own curriculum. And if they put this in their curriculum, most students will actually and they need to employ good teachers. That is where the
okay,
training of educators comes in. Educate them. Don't let it be only one person in charge. Don't
okay,
let it be like only one person will not be teaching the old school. Educate some people, give them some training, send them abroad to go and learn more and bring it back to your school so that those students can gain those values from you. So learning on hands on, for example, I will be talking about physics because there is always physics aspect of robotics. Imagine you
okay.
teaching Ohm's law. You're teaching voltage equals to IR, that's current times resistance. And you're talking about
Exactly. Yes.
resistance. What is the resistor? What is the meaning of resistor? A student cannot even provide what a resistor is. You're
It
teaching,
is.
if you don't know what a resistor is, you cannot calculate the color band of resistor. You don't know the meaning of
Exactly.
resistor, you don't know the work of a resistor. But but
And we
but you
even
actually know it in book.
it is, and in the robotics, we actually we play with the resistance on the daily basis.
I'm
And
telling
physics,
you, children knows the importance of resistance.
exactly. We do the practical
So
of
this
robotics in resistance in robotics, but unfortunately,
yes,
physics students used to study. about the resistance, but they don't know how to implement it.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, it is a whole lot. And if this can be inculcated, the level at which students usually think physics is, as in the level at which they think about physics, will reduce. You cannot see a student and say, "Oh, I love physics." Before you can see a student that will say, "I love physics," that student is a genius. That student loves watching maybe American movies that deals with robotics already. You
It
know,
is.
so
It is.
that is what even inspired me to write, maybe to create an handbook. I've started it already. I've not completed it. I'm writing an handbook that will join both physics and robotics together, so that whenever you treat a topic in a particular physics, a particular question, topic in physics, you will be able to do the practical on your own at home if you have your Arduino kit. That is what I'm working on
It is.
presently, because we need to help these students. Physics is not hard, and you
Uh,
will see some teachers, they will make life hard for those students. Maybe because I'm a teacher, that is why it's
it,
paining me. Honestly,
It is. And for me, physics and maths, for me, like it is my personal perception. I don't know whether
yeah,
you agree or not. Physics and maths are not subjects, they are the applications. You have to apply somewhere. These are not just a
yeah,
subjects that you study individually. You have to apply somewhere
yeah,
physics and maths.
yes, yes. So robotics is the
Okay,
best. That is why we call it STEM.
it is.
Because
I
in
completely
fact,
agree. I
see,
completely agree.
we have steam now. The A is now there where we have hearts. Because before you can do something, you need to create the model. That is the heart aspect of it. You need to create a model. Remember, I told you we did traffic light model. We actually created a small zebra crossing. That is STEAM,
Okay,
STEAM. So you have
it is.
science,
You
technology,
integrate
um,
arts,
engineering, arts,
arts.
and mathematics. So that will
It
make your
is. It is. When
students
you
smarter. They will be able to pick any profession, any career they want in life. Honestly,
Exactly. Okay, my next question, as you said, previously, as you said that we
yes,
need to educate the school first regarding the robotics. So my question is
yes,
like, is the second part of it that how would you train teachers uh, who have no robotics background? Because you have to train the teachers first because they come to know the importance of the robotics. So if you have to train
of
the
course.
teachers, how can you train a teachers in school?
Well, for me, probably if I have a school in mind, I will
Okay,
write a letter to the school that this is my
okay,
proposal and I wish to talk
okay,
to some of their staffs. So if they are
okay,
interested, I would love to introduce robotics and Arduino programming. Though
okay,
not all students will appreciate that because probably they don't know. So I will try my best to talk to their management, and if they give me the platform to talk to their teachers, those that understand it, you tell them to get their the first day. I'll probably go there as a normal person without expecting anything in return. Then after introducing them and telling them what this can do, what it can what it can do, what it can, after telling them everything, those that are interested can come up and say they want to do. Then you can give them a discounted price just because they were present in your first lecture, right? And you tell them that they will get the Arduino kit from you, right? So getting the Arduino, that means you have a short business for yourself by getting them an Arduino kit with their money, right? And then give it to them and look for probably and maybe during holiday so that you can talk to the staff and teach them the basic aspect of it so that they can use it to teach their own children. And if they want something as far as they can always look online, and if they need mentoring, they can always get back to me. So that is one way I think I will do that. I will do mine.
okay. Acha, okay, my next question is very important, and I would like you to discuss in detail because you are from that country. And the question is that
Okay.
what are the biggest challenges Nigerian students face while in learning robotics? What are the challenges in terms of financial, in terms of awareness? First, you have to aware the parents so they come to know the importance. So they send their children to learn robotics. And what are the
Okay.
factors that you think that might become an obstacle between
Mm.
students and the robotics curriculum? It could be political, it
Okay.
could be anything.
Okay. You've said it, or you've said financial. Not all hands are equal. Not all students
Okay,
came from a buoyant family. There are some
it
people
is.
that will be able to afford robotics and the like. And there are some that, because of them not buoyant enough, they might not have the opportunity of, trying to get interest because they know they don't have a lot of money with them. So I felt maybe they should try to create an empowerment program for those people that might be interested. You don't know who might be interested, but if somebody can create an empowerment program for them, you know, and then try to for an empowerment program, it is not they are not paying you for that, right? It's just like an
It is.
NGO stuff. So even you need the problem here is that we have another challenge. If you want to create an empowerment program, you also need as the tutor or the educator that will teach them robotics tutor, you need to be equipped. You need finance, to do all this. So it is a very
It is.
great challenge. Even if you need to introduce people around your country, people around your surroundings to robotics, we need to be financially stable. We need finance to do this, so with
It
that,
is.
maybe
It is.
they will now have interest, so they can now source for money on their own to learn the robotics
Okay.
themselves. But as for those that are already buoyant enough, then it is information they need. They just need
Okay.
to be communicated to. You need to communicate with them. You need to inform them so that they can understand the value that robotics hold now and in the future.
It is. Okay. My second question leads to the first one, and that is, uh, students and even parents know that if you opt medical, so you would become a doctor. There are so many categorization, like specialization in the doctorate field, such as you can become dermatologist, orthopedic, psychiatrist, and so many other fields. And similarly for the engineering sides, you would become mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, and so forth. Like in robotics, if you like, how would you convince parents that their children should opt robotics? Because first we have to show the future scope of robotics. Robotics is just a general term. Robotics is just a general term. There's no like specializations. We don't know about the specialization in future. So we have to like educate in terms of that. See in future your children have these fields they can opt. So what are the fields how would you convince the parents that this is the future of robotics and these are the jobs that might appear in
Are
future
available.
in the robotics
Okay.
field? So how would you convince the parents?
Okay. Well, I'm going to convince this parent because you cannot blame them. You can't blame these
It is.
parents. They are already known for a specific type of profession. When I was
It
growing
is.
up as well, I used to say I want to become a doctor. You say you be
Yeah, it is.
doctor. If you're not a doctor, you be a banker. If you're not a banker, you be an accountant. So the mentality revolve around all those things. They don't
Specific,
know that
some
future
specific
is
fields.
here. What do you say?
By the time when we grown up, and even our parents, the fields are very specific, very limited fields.
Okay, yes, exactly. So they don't know that it is broad, and robotics and
It is.
AI has brought a lot of a lot of profession into the real world. A lot of career is
It is.
sitting there. Nobody is even looking into it. So it is just information. When you see, probably if I will be able to convince my own parents, for example, I can start from the students I teach. Probably those periods they might come for open morning. There is a period whereby they will come to school to come and check the progress of their children in school. So I can use that opportunity to tell them how the child is doing and is his ability, what I sense in him, probably I sense hands on. I can convince that parent, how about you do this for this child? This child is very good at hands on. Okay, let's try Arduino programming for him. Probably it will be very good, you know. So from there, you will tell them as of now, the child does not even know what he needs to do. He does not know what he wants to do. So at least if you put him through this process, or you put him through this league, probably he will be able to know what he or she wants to become in the future. Do you get now? So I felt like you need um one-on-one interference with the parents so that they can actually
It is
understand from you, that understand the
individually.
value. Yes.
It is
So when you
individually.
talk
We
to
will
them,
have to.
they will. Yes. So you let them appreciate what robotics is. That it is not only you cannot be, if everybody want to become a doctor, who will be in robotics aspect? And if you are in robotics, you can be a tutor, you can teach a lot of people, you can build your own empire, you can have your own
It
organization, you
is.
can do a lot of
It
research.
is.
So we should not be aiming at working under people. Let's aim on how we can be our own boss. Tell them that your children can be their own boss. With this robotics, they can teach a lot of people, teach people beyond their own country. They can teach abroad, they can teach anywhere in the country. You know? So it will actually expose them to people of like minds. Because like-minded people will actually, they will actually reach out to you one day. So that is how I'm going
It
to reach
is.
out to probably a parent. Yes, for me.
It is. And finally, what message would you like to share with educators, school leaders, and students who are interested in introducing robotics into their schools?
Okay. What
What
I
is
will
your
have
final
to
message?
say, okay, my final message is that school management should try as much as possible to employ competent people. They should employ competent people in their organization. When they want to employ, they should seek for, um, apart from their normal area of specialization, ask them what they have to offer. There are some tutors that don't teach with passion. There are some tutors that
It
are
is.
not passionate of their work. So these children need a passionate tutor, a passionate teacher. So if you did not provide it for them as a management, they will just do what they like in the school, right? So as a tutor, you
It
should
is.
be open to change, be open to uniqueness, because they see it as something. Where I teach, most of them might not know what it is, but some that are interested, they might come up to you, can you teach me this? That is where changes come from. And from there, you can teach them and then they will get used to it. So my message is that people should be competent enough to teach, and they should, when the school management recognize somebody with intellect, when they recognize somebody with change, they should accept it with the whole of their heart and stop casting people that has brought change into their organization. And for students, they should be ready to learn from those people that are ready to help. Most students downgrade teachers. Not only students, most people, most parents, they downgrade teachers. Even school
It
owners
is.
downgrade their staffs. Teachers should not be limited. They should be exposed to a lot of things because they are the
It
ones
is.
that are in charge of these students every now and then. They are the ones that are spending most hours with the students. So they
It
should
is. And they decide
appreciate
the
and know the
future.
importance of it. Yes.
They decide the
So most
future of the
people,
students. They can make up the mind of the students.
what do you say?
They decide the students' future. They can make up the
Yes,
mind of the students
yes,
for the future
yes,
building.
exactly. So that's my message for students. They should be ready. They should be calm enough to listen to whoever is taking them through this teaching and the rest of that. So as for the parents, let them give a lot of respect to those teaching their child. They should give a lot of respect to
Oh,
those giving their child, and the school management should respect their staff. Do not look down on
agreed.
your staff, because when you look down on your staff,
Agreed.
the parents that are working with you will always look down on your staff and they will see it as nothing. And that staff that has a lot to offer will not do it because of discouragement.
Exactly. I would
So that's my message.
100% agree. And at last, I would say that, like you are saying, I feel that it's the same situation in Pakistan as well. We downgrade the
Hmm.
teachers and we give
Exactly.
multitask to the teachers. Teachers are specialized
Yes.
for something. You cannot give other
Exactly.
things to perform to the teachers.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
I would 100% agree, and I believe what I experienced after the discussion that Nigerian Pakistan are on the
Of
same
course.
page in
Yes.
terms of education. We both have the similar problems. We face the same
Yes.
situations.
Exactly. Yes.
So
Yes. Exactly.
I I would I would thank you a lot to participate into this discussion, and I would
You're
request
welcome.
you to join again
Yeah.
whenever you make yourself feel free to talk.
Okay.
And
All right.
thank you so much. Thank you so much,
You're
Sakil. Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Yes.
Welcome,
You're
and have a
welcome.
nice
You're
day. I
welcome.
believe that
Yes.
it is early in the morning in your country, so have a good day and good morning. Bye bye.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay.